Now we are going to solve the 8th problem in chapter 2 multiple choice question. First I will read the problem. In India, electricity is supplied for domestic uses at 220 volt. It is supplied at 110 volt in USA. Are you clear? Note down the voltage supplied by the power distribution in India is how much? 220 volt. But in USA, while transmitting the power, the voltage is supplied at the rate of 110 volt. Here one bulb is used. That bulb, its power consumption is 60 watt. That's why it is taken as P1. Here the same bulb, its power consumption is how much? 60 watt. But the resistance of the filament is taken as R1, that is equal to R. You are asked to calculate what would be the resistance of the bulb which is used in USA. Here this one can be written as V1 and this one can be written as V2. Look at the factors: resistance, power consumption, voltage. These three factors are there. You are asked to calculate what would be the resistance of the filament bulb when it is used in the USA. Are you clear? What is the general formula to calculate the power? Power is equal to V square divided by R is a formula. First, basically, I am going to write the expression basically for India. Are you clear? Therefore, it can be written as P1 is equal to V1 square divided by R1. So that formula can be written for India. For USA, same formula to be used. P2 is equal to V2 square divided by R2. Here, what is the common factor here? The power consumed by the bulb, both in India as well as in USA, is same. How much? 60 watt, 60 watt. Therefore, P1 will be equal to P2. Are you clear? So, therefore, we can write it as P1 is equal to P2. How can I say that both are equal? Because the power consumed by the bulb will be basically same in both the two cases. Both are same. Therefore, P1 is equal to P2, that is equal to how much? 60 watt. Substitute the formula. V1 square divided by R1 is equal to V2 square divided by R2. In that format we can write. What is required? The resistance of the filament bulb when it is used at USA, that should be calculated. Are you clear? The resistance of the filament bulb when it is used in USA to be calculated. Therefore, R2 is equal to cross multiply this V2 square into R1 whole divided by this V1 can be cross multiplied. V1 square can be cross multiplied. Substitute the values. Here R2, that is resistance of the filament bulb in USA. V2, what is the value of V2? 110. 110 into 110, that square value is written in that format. R1 value, that R1 is taken as R, therefore simply you write it as R. And then V1 square, 220 into 220, in that format we can write. So here you will get, after cancellation you will get 2 here, here also you will get 2. So finally the answer would be R by 4, R by 4. The meaning is the resistance of the filament bulb when it is used in USA will be equal to 1/4 of the resistance of the filament bulb when it is used in India. Are you clear? Therefore, the final answer R2 is equal to R by 4 is the answer. Are you clear? We will check it up. Is it clear which option is correct as per the textbook answer? Here for 8th one, C is the correct answer. Are you clear? C option is correct. Understood? Now we are going to solve the 9th problem in chapter 2 multiple choice question. Here, what is mentioned in the problem? In a large building, these are the appliances which are used. 15 bulbs are used. Each one of them, their power consumption is 40 watt. And the 15 bulb, the total power consumption is how much? 600 watt. 5 bulbs of 100 watt and its power consumption is calculated 500 watt. 5 fans, each of them their power consumption is 80 watt. Therefore, the total power consumed by 5 fans will be 400 watt. One heater is used, its power consumption is 1 kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is equivalent to 1000 watt. So here all the power consumption to be added, and totally you will get 2500 watt as the total power consumption. These appliances, they are connected with a voltage power supply of electric mains 220 volt. That is voltage which is applied to the all the electrical appliances. How much? 220 volt. We know the purpose of using the fuse carriers. Are you clear? For the entire building they are using a main fuse, and you are asked to calculate what would be the maximum capacity of the main fuse. It means that you are asked to calculate the I value. First you have to calculate the current flowing through all the appliance. Later only we are able to find out the maximum capacity of the main fuse of the building. So what is the general formula? Power, voltage and then current. All the three things to be related. Therefore, the basic fundamental formula is power is equal to voltage into current. First we will calculate the current flow. That is P is equal to V into I is the formula. I is equal to P. P is nothing but the total power consumed divided by I is there, P divided by V, that is the formula. And then substitute 2500 watt is the total power consumed by all the appliances. The voltage supplied to all the appliances how much? 220 volt. Now after calculation you are getting the answer as 2500 divided by 220 volt, that is 11.3 ampere is flowing. Are you clear? In the household appliances, how much amount of current is flowing? 11.3 ampere is flowing. Sometimes what will happen, no, due to certain reasons, to clear the current flow through all appliances may be more. Because of that, due to the excess of current flow, the appliances may be damaged. So just to avoid the damage of the electrical appliance, we are using the fuse carrier. Now we have to see the options which are given in the textbook. That is very important. In the textbook option, A is 14 ampere, B is 8 ampere, C is 10 ampere, D is 12 ampere. Tell me, among the four, which number is nearer to this 11.3? The nearest number is 12. Are you clear? Therefore, the maximum capacity of the main fuse of the building is how much? 12 ampere. That is the answer. Are you clear? It shows that if the current flows more than 12 amperes, what will happen? That fuse wire will be cut off. Therefore, D is the correct option. Are you clear? D is the correct option that you should know. The meaning is, when all appliances are working together basically at a time, what will happen? The current flows more than 12 ampere, what will happen? This wire will be cut off. We know about the purpose of using the fuse. So on this surface of the fuse carrier, you can see the description how much? 12A. 12A means if the current flows greater than more than 12 ampere, basically what will happen? It is having the two specific properties. It is having high resistance and low melting point. Due to Joule's heating effect, the wire will be cut off. So automatically the excess of current of flow can be prevented. So clear, if 11.3 ampere flows, there won't be any problem at all. All appliances will be in the safe mode. So this is the answer. Are you clear? 12 ampere is the answer. Understood? Now we are going to solve the 10th problem in chapter 2, multiple choice question. Here three resistances, they are connected in series. 3 ohm resistance, 2.5 ohm resistance and the unknown one P. All the three are connected in series. These three are connected with a 9 volt battery. The EMF of the cell is 9 volt. The current passing through the circuit is how much? 1 ampere. I is given. You are asked to calculate the unknown resistance. How to find out? Very simple one. First you calculate the total resistance. What is this? Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. This is a very fundamental formula. Here Rs can be written, since they are all in series, that could be written as Rs. R1 value is 3, R2 value is 2.5. The unknown resistance can be written as P. Therefore, Rs can be written as 5.5 ohm plus P. So this much amount of ohm is there. This is unknown one. Apply Ohm's law. V is equal to I into Rs is the formula. Here V value is 9 volt. The current passing through the circuit is 1 ampere. Rs 5.5 plus P. So in that format we can write this 9, that one can be brought down. Are you clear? If the 9 is brought down, here what will happen? 9 divided by 1 is equal to 5.5 plus P. In that format we can write. Are you clear? So what is the value of P? The P value will be, unknown resistance will be P is equal to 9 minus 5.5. So the unknown resistance value will be equal to 3.5 ohm. So the unknown resistance value is found out. As per the textbook problem, the answer is C. Okay. Now we are going to solve the 11th multiple choice question in chapter 2. Here three resistances, they are connected in parallel and they are connected across a 5 volt battery. You are asked to calculate the current which flows through the circuit. First we will calculate the effective resistance. Since they are connected in parallel connection, we have to use the formula 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. This is a simple formula often we are using. Substitute the values of all the three resistances, 1 by 15 ohm, 1 by 15 ohm, 1 by 15 ohm. All the three resistances are same. Okay. Here 1 by Rp can be written. How this one can be written? 1 by Rp is equal to 15 is a common factor. Add all the ones, you will get 3. So from this we are able to get the Rp value, that is 15 by 3, that is equal to 5 ohm. The net effective resistance value is how much? 5 ohm. Are you clear? Now all the three, they can be combined and it can be taken as a single resistance. So Rp is found out. Now how to calculate current which flows through the circuit? Ohm's law. To clear, V is equal to the current flows, that can be written as I. The net effective resistance can be written as Rp. So what is the formula to calculate current? I is equal to V by Rp. V by Rp is the formula. I is equal to the EMF of the cell is how much? 5 volt. Net effective resistance value is how much? 5 ohm. The current passing through the circuit is how much? 1 ampere. Are you clear? This is the final answer. Understood? As per the textbook options, we have to check which option is correct. As per the textbook, A option is the correct one. For 11th problem, A option is the correct one. Are you clear? So A is the correct option. Now we are going to solve the 12th problem in chapter 2, multiple choice question, 12th problem. Here one wire is given and the wire, it has got its own value. Temperature coefficient of the resistance of the wire is given. The value is mentioned as alpha. Its value is 0.00125 per degree Celsius. At a particular temperature, 20 degrees Celsius, the resistance of the wire is 1 ohm. Are you clear? That particular temperature, initial temperature is taken as T1. The resistance of the wire at a particular temperature is mentioned as RT1. Here T1 is nothing but 20 degrees Celsius. Therefore, RT1 is nothing but R20. Its value is 1 ohm. Now the temperature is raised. Here we have to calculate the new temperature. When the temperature is raised, at this particular new temperature T2, the new resistance value is 2 ohm. You are asked to find out the temperature of the wire at which the resistance of the wire is how much? 2 ohm. Here in theory part, one formula is available. Just I have modified the formula. RT2, what is RT2? Resistance at new temperature is equal to resistance at new initial temperature. RT2 means resistance at new temperature, which is equal to resistance at the initial temperature. In bracket, what is there? 1 plus alpha, that is new temperature minus initial temperature. So in that format you can modify the formula. We don't know the value of T2. Are you clear? You simply write it as it is. Resistance at new temperature RT2 is equal to RT1 is nothing but R20, resistance at 20 degrees Celsius. 1 plus, substitute the value of alpha 0.00125, 0.00125. That is the value of alpha. T2 value is not known. So write as it is. T1 value is known. How much? 20 degrees Celsius. So all the values are substituted. RT2 is equal to, what is the resistance of the wire at 20 degrees Celsius? Its value is 1 ohm. Are you clear? 1 plus 0.00125 in bracket T2 minus 20 can be written as it is. Here the RT2 value is also given. Therefore, here we can substitute this. Are you clear? What is the value of RT2? 2 ohm. This one can be brought down. So, therefore, 2 by 1, which is equal to 1 plus 0.00125 in bracket T2 minus that 20 can be written. Are you clear? Now, this one can be brought in this side. 2 by 1 is equal to 2, and this, if this 1 is brought here, that one becomes 2 minus 1. What is the remaining factor? This is the factor. I'll go by step, only then you can understand. T2 minus 20. T2 minus 20. This factor can be cross multiplied. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. And this factor can be brought down. 0.00125 is equal to T2 minus 20. 1 by 0.00125 will be equal to 800. Are you clear? That you should know. 800 is the value. After calculation, I will get the answer, which is equal to T2 minus 20. So what is the value of T2? T2 is equal to 800 plus 20. The value will be T2 is equal to 820 degrees Celsius. So this is the required answer. Are you clear? As per the option, as per the textbook option for 12th one, D is the correct answer. So D is the correct option. Okay. Now we are going to solve the 13th problem in chapter 2, multiple choice question, 13th problem. Here the EMF of the cell is given. The EMF of the cell is 2.1 volt. The cell is connected with the external resistance 10 ohm. The current passing through the resistance is 0.2 ampere. To calculate the internal resistance, the formula is already derived with the help of the theory knowledge. R is equal to Xi minus IR divided by I. Here Xi is the symbol of EMF. I is nothing but current flow. R is a resistance value, external resistance value. And use that formula, substitute the value, you will get the answer. External resistance of the cell is equal to Xi minus IR divided by I. This is the formula. Xi value is 2.1 minus I value 0.2 ampere into 10 ohm whole divided by strength of the current is 0.2. After simplification, you will get 2.1 minus 0.2 into 10. That one becomes 2. Are you clear? Divided by 0.2. This one becomes 0.1 divided by 0.2. Are you clear? 0.1 divided by 0.2 is equal to how much? 0.5. That one becomes half. Therefore, the answer will be 0.5. Since it is internal resistance, this one must be measured in terms of ohm. Are you clear? So, as per the textbook problem, the correct option is B. So, B is the correct option. There the 0.5 ohm is given. Okay. Now we are going to find the answer for multiple choice question number 14 in chapter 2. What is mentioned in the problem? A piece of copper and another of germanium are cooled from room temperature to 80 Kelvin. The resistance of 4 options are given. Now we have to find the answer with the help of theory knowledge. Conductors like copper, they have positive temperature coefficient. Positive temperature coefficient of resistance means when temperature of the material increases, the resistance also will increase. When the temperature is decreased, resistance also will decrease in the case of conductors. That's why conductors are said to have positive temperature coefficient of resistance. But in the case of semiconductors like germanium, they have negative temperature coefficient of resistance. What is the meaning of negative temperature coefficient of resistance? When temperature of the material is increased, resistance will decrease. Okay. Now, but in this problem, what is mentioned? Both the two materials are cooled from room temperature to 80 Kelvin. Are you clear? They are cooled from room temperature to 80 Kelvin. So, in the case of copper, what happens? When the temperature is decreased, resistance will decrease. But in the case of germanium, when the temperature is decreased, resistance will increase. Therefore, the correct option is D. Copper, resistance of the copper decreases and the resistance of the germanium increases. Both could be understood from the two graphs which are shown here. Now we are going to solve the 15th problem, multiple choice question 15th problem in chapter 2. First I will read the problem. In Joule's heating law, R and T are kept constant. Therefore, in the tabular column you could observe that the R value is taken as 3 ohm and time of flow of current is 2 seconds. So these two factors R and T both are kept constant. And here, which one is variable? Here, the current is variable. The strength of the current is altered here. The strength of the current is changed from 1 ampere to 2 ampere, 3 ampere, 4 ampere, 5 amperes. 5 values of currents are taken and the square of the currents are calculated. The square of the currents are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. These are all the squares of the current of the respective current values. Here I square values are taken in x-axis, that is square of the current is taken in x-axis and heat produced is taken along the y-axis. You are asked to answer what will be the shape of the graph. Are you clear? So what is the formula to calculate the heat produced? Heat produced is equal to I square RT. Substitute the values of I square R and T in the tabular column values. The H value, I square RT values are given here after calculation. For I square value 1, the heat produced is H is equal to 6 joule. For 4, I square 4, the heat produced is 24. For I square value 9, the respective heat produced is 54. For I square value 16, the heat produced is 96. For I square value 25, the heat produced is 150. So here the square of the current is taken in x-axis, heat produced is taken along the y-axis. After plotting the values, After connecting all the points, you will get a straight line. Here the proof itself is given to find out the answer. Therefore the correct answer will be A, that is straight line. Okay.